Three Constitution Party members say they should be on the November ballot, but a judge says that's not likely going to happen. This all started with Laura Hubbell and G. Matt Johnson suing Secretary of State Chantel Krebs. They're saying it's unconstitutional for Krebs to leave their names off the ballot. Hubbell is trying to run for governor, and Johnson is trying to run for the South Dakota's House seat. Now, a third person has filed two more lawsuits saying that he should be the party's gubernatorial candidate. As KELOLAND's Brady Mallory explains, this all goes back to what the judge calls an evident rift in the party and dueling conventions.
Today in federal court, Judge Roberto Lang agreed not being on the ballot will harm Hubbell's and Johnson's chances of winning, but said the ballots have been printed and ordered, and changing them now would harm other candidates, the election, and the Secretary of State's office. He also pointed out absentee voting has already begun, so his concern is that adding new candidates and creating new ballots would also create issues for people who have already voted. Lang will issue a written decision at a later date, but based on this, it appears he's siding with the Secretary of State's office. Attorneys for Chantel Krebs had no comment, but Hubbell and Johnson are disappointed.
I think the tactic used here was a delay tactic, because when we filed the lawsuit, there was time before the ballots were printed, but I think a delay tactic works.
But if you don't get a good candidate in either of the two major parties, I think there's room for a third-party candidate.
Now there's more. Terry LaFleur is now suing the state, Hubbell and Johnson, claiming that he is the true Constitutional Party gubernatorial candidate. The party held two separate conventions within hours of each other and each nominated a different candidate for governor. One was Hubbell and one was LaFleur. In court, Hubbell and LaFleur argued over who was party chair, who had the authority to call a convention, and which convention's candidate is legitimate.
I don't think that the court is going to take me seriously, because this is basically a repeat of the August 16th hearing.
The August 16th date that LaFleur is referring to is a state court hearing that found that the Secretary of State's process was proper. LaFleur is also suing the state for $100 million. He says that large sum, though, is so he can get the state's attention because he feels like no one is listening to him.